Okay, so today we're diving into something pretty interesting, I think. Have you heard about DeepSeek?
Yeah, it's been making some noise lately, especially with those benchmark results. Really impressive stuff in natural language processing.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely caught the eye of like researchers, businesses, even just individuals,
Hmm.
people who want to use AI. But there's, well, kind of a big question mark hanging over it, and that is privacy.
Right, right. There's a lot of chatter about its connections with the CCP and, well, how they handle user data.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to try to unpack today. So we've got a bunch of sources here, articles, reports. Some are pretty technical. But the mission really is to figure out, what are the privacy risks with this DeepSeek thing? How does it stack up against, say, ChatGPT or Google Gemini? And at the end of the day, we want to help you, the listener, decide if you're comfortable using it.
Sounds like a plan. Where do we even begin with this thing?
Well, let's start with the elephant in the room, the CCP. The sources we've seen, they suggest DeepSeek is funded and operated, at least in part, by the Chinese government. And that brings us to this thing called China's National Intelligence Law.
Ah, yes. I believe Article 7 is particularly relevant here, isn't it?
Right, you got it. Basically, Article 7 says that, well, any organization in China, they have to cooperate with national intelligence work.
Yeah.
So, if the government asks for data, they got to hand it over. And it's not even clear if that data has to be stored in China.
So theoretically, even if DeepSeek stores its data outside of China, they might still be obligated to share it if requested.
Yeah, that seems to be the implication. And on top of that, DeepSeek's privacy policy, it's not very transparent, to say the least. Like what data is actually encrypted, how long do they keep it, who else might have access? Not a lot of answers there.
And I think there was something about prompt injection flaws as well, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. So those are basically like security weaknesses. Someone could use them to trick the AI, get it to spill info it shouldn't. Sensitive stuff.
Hmm, makes you think. We had all this scrutiny over TikTok and its ties to the CCP. Is DeepSeek going to face similar questions, do you think?
I think it's a valid question. It's interesting, right? DeepSeek's benchmark scores started climbing right around the time TikTok was facing all that heat. Makes you wonder how much attention we pay to privacy when something new and shiny comes along, especially if it's super powerful, right?
Absolutely. We often prioritize functionality over security, but these concerns are pretty real. Think about it. A startup using DeepSeek for sensitive business data, their intellectual property, or just everyday people uploading personal documents.
Exactly. Resumes, financial stuff, all that data could be at risk. And that brings us to, I guess, the alternatives, ChatGPT and Google Gemini.
Yeah, how do they compare on the privacy front?
Well, from what I've read, ChatGPT seems pretty transparent. If you're using the free version, your inputs, they're not stored after your session ends. Plus, they say users own their data and they operate under U.S. regulations.
And
Gemini, well, it's got Google's whole security infrastructure behind it, right?
Hmm.
GDPR compliance, CCPA compliance, end-to-end encryption. You have more control over what you share.
So quite a different picture than DeepSeek, it seems.
Yeah, it's a stark contrast, really. Although there is this idea of self-hosting DeepSeek. It's been floating around.
Oh, right. More of a technical solution, though, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Not something most people could or would even want to do. So I guess the main takeaway here is DeepSeek, yeah, it's powerful. But the privacy side of things, well, it's a bit of a red flag, especially when you compare it to those other options.
It's that age-old dilemma, right? The balance between innovation and protecting our information.
Absolutely. I mean, for anyone out there listening who's thinking about using AI, please do your research. Look into privacy policies. Go for platforms you feel you can trust. Share as little data as possible. Use those encrypted networks, VPNs. And honestly, let's push for better privacy standards across the board.
It's crucial to be mindful of the data we're handing over and who we're handing it to. It makes you think, are we giving up too much in the name of progress? Where does this all lead in the long run? I don't know. It's a question we all need to grapple with.
100%. All right, that's it for this deep dive. Thanks for listening.